Welcome to my podcast, From Illness to Awakening. I'm Allison Bruner, and I'm a somatic psychotherapist and shamanic energy healer, as well as someone who has coped with and overcome 8 years of chronic illness. I'm here to offer you support on your path of spiritual expansion, which can come from the experience of chronic illness. Today, I present to you part 2 of my interview with nutritionist and nutrition response testing master practitioner Cindy Harrington, who is also the owner of the Center for Nutritional Healing in Royersford, Pennsylvania. If you missed part 1 last week, I encourage you to go back and listen. She offers fascinating information on a natural healing modality that brought me through the final year of my healing journey. And well, there's so much I could say about it, but I'll let Cindy speak for herself. So without further ado, a lot of people expect to go to a doctor who's going to save them, give them a magical remedy, a pill's going to save them. But with the work that you offer, we come face to face with this truth that we have to take responsibility for our bodies and our health. It's not about a magic pill at all, because that magic pill leads to a whole host of other issues most of the time. I in my testing have had pharmaceuticals that needed to be detoxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. Um, and that individual, me, needs guidance for what to do. Because I
Right.
hear a lot that, people go to the doctor and this doctor says you need to lose 20 pounds. Well, how am I going to do that? Like that's almost an insurmountable task when you don't know what your unique body is dealing with and what foods you need, what beverages do you need, what's the status of your thyroid. There's a lot of people out there with thyroid issues um, that don't know it. They might have had some labs done by the doctor, but um, they came out, oh, within range, and your thyroid's
Right.
fine. But every day I'm seeing thyroids that are not fine, and
Right.
that thyroid needs some attention
Mhm.
nutritionally, and just targeted, no guessing. People need that kind of guidance to heal.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, that the thyroid, a lot of the tests that were done on me, and I know this is true for others as well, were not picking up on things that were causing problems. And they would say, oh, I was fine. I was fine. Go on Weight Watchers. I can't believe, no, thank you. um, yeah, so when I came to NRT before I met you, I had to clear out fungus and yeast and mold. Oh my gosh, my face was so swollen. My whole body was swollen. I was puffy everywhere. Oh, the metals, viruses. There were so many things affecting my thyroid. I remember there was a test that they had me do. I had to run in place for, I don't know, a couple minutes maybe. And at the end, I thought I was going to die. And it was crazy. It was really strange. But yeah, it's because I had all of these toxins that were affecting my thyroid. And so, but my doctors, my PhD doctors never picked up on that. And I know they have the tools that they have. They were well-meaning, but I love just this idea that the body can tell us, oh, no, no, go here. There's something here. Yeah. And here's what I need for it. And here's how much I need of it. And here's how long I need it. So there's no guessing. Yeah.
Perfectly said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Because I think a lot of people are tired of buying all the supplements. I was spending so much on supplements, and I had cabinets full of supplements. And at one point, I was like, I don't have room for food anymore. I could live off of these supplements, and what is working and what's not, I have no clue. I'm so desperate right now.
Oh,
But with NRT, it gets very focused. The body says, and it works. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
how blessed are we?
Right, right. And so, I'm kind of curious about, now this is a focus of mine. I don't know if it's anything that you ever pay attention to, but I notice that people who tend to be more nervous, who have lower self-esteem, who are challenged more with with mood disorders, have a history of trauma, are the ones that are showing up the most with autoimmune stuff, just with the systemic issues physically that might end up bringing them into your office then. I wonder if you notice or pick up on that.
I don't see it that way, but on one side of it, I'm not seeing them in the same way you're seeing them, where there might be some mention of trauma um, with me, but I, I and it's partly my personality, am very kind of focused on the physical.
Mhm, mhm,
Although I definitely take in the mental, emotional, etc., spiritual, and see that in people. But I my first thought when you said that was there's some issues physically that have not been identified in that person that is really exacerbating
mm,
their their trauma. They're trying to find out the reason why they're so unwell.
mhm,
And I think a lot of times people go, like, if they don't get an answer from the practitioners they've seen, they think there must be something, some kind of trauma in the past that is resulting in me being so unwell. And I just see it differently. Those
mhm.
practitioners didn't identify what that person needed to heal. Um, I see it with depression, for example. There could be a thyroid that is extremely unwell, for example, and either the doctors haven't tested for the thyroid, or I mean, or they've tested for one or two biomarkers in the blood for thyroid, um, and it hasn't gotten picked up. With the blood testing I do, we test for 10 biomarkers for the thyroid. With that said, we're often seeing dysfunction in a thyroid. But even if those biomarkers are in range, and we look at a healthy range, which is often narrower than the clinical range you see on your lab results, um, there could still be stress with the thyroid. And with the nutrition response testing, where I gently touch the thyroid, push on the arm, test in different ways, I can find that. So that's just one example, but uh, that's just where my head goes.
Mhm, mhm.
With people who have had a lot of trauma, etc., um, and having these autoimmune issues, etc., I just think it's being exacerbated, um, and they're searching for answers, but there are physical
Yeah, yeah.
answers out there.
I imagine it's affecting the nervous system, the nerve, yeah, the vagus nerve. And if the nervous system's dysregulated, that really makes us weak. And you're also bringing up another piece of this I hadn't even thought of that's so important, is how much of our mental health issues are actually rooted in a physical issue versus the other way around, like I tend to see it. But I can't tell you how many people have come to me with bipolar disorder where they go a lot into mania or even psychosis. And I don't specialize in those. They ask me, well, do you know where I can turn for help? I've tried this person, this person. And I say, actually, why don't you try going for the physical? And I actually do recommend NRT.
Okay.
So yeah, because I have no science to back this myself. This is intuition purely, so I'll say that. But in a lot of people where there's psychosis, I'm sensing it's heavy metals and even, oh, it's like, oh, okay, a little clairvoyant here. I'm seeing something black. That's mold, right? Like, um, I feel like it's the what is it that comes of mold that creates what's the
My-
toxin?
Mycotoxins?
Yes, yes. That's what I see when I'm talking to people and I let them know I think you need to focus on the physical. But even in my own history, I know that a lot of depression was rooted in my nutrition and in the physical. Because in my 20s, I ate the way you were describing, the macaroni and cheese. I was so poor. I ate pasta all the time and
Totally.
bread,
Yeah.
so and that's also what I liked. And so
Okay.
I mean, that oh, you just feel terrible afterwards. Like, ugh, it feels great in the moment, and then very quickly doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely what you said. These are real stressors for us, heavy metals, mold or mycotoxins. And then you went on to talk about food, and the breads and the pastas, which aren't all bad. There are some good versions of this stuff, but
Mhm,
blood
mhm.
sugar is a major issue
Oh,
with these depression cases and bipolar, etc. Um, and there's more. I mean, there are several things, but blood sugar is major. And a couple times in the last year or two, I've heard on the news or whatever, an example of, oh, uh, I knew that she was falling into a major depression because she was eating bowls of Fruit Loops, and that's what she would do. That was her pattern. But I'm thinking when I hear this on NPR or whatever, there was some kind of story. I'm like, no, 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 no. The Fruit Loops came first.
yeah, yeah.
That sugar, that response to sugar, and it's not, you might be a healthy eater and not being eating Fruit Loops, for example, but still could be having a blood sugar issue and needing some assistance with that. Thyroid, super stressed. I've been in a mental facility, overnight mental facility, not as a patient, not that there's anything wrong if I had, but I have been a visitor. And what they were serving those people
Yeah,
for
yeah,
food, nourishment, that was not nourishment.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
So, they're eating at this buffet here with stuff that you call food
Mhm.
like substances, which didn't have much nourishment and a lot of sugar. And then they're going to the counter to get their meds from the nurses. And then you got, yeah, this
Yeah,
is, this is all preventable, largely significantly preventable.
yeah. I worked in a hospital, in a psych hospital, and I was heartbroken at the way I saw that it wasn't a wellness place at all. It was just pump them with meds, make them stable, and get them out. That's all it is. Yeah, and the food, even in nursing homes too. It was hard to watch my grandmother have to go through that, and she was fine with what she was eating, but I was ah, so sad.
Yeah, it's just very few of these health practitioners, or they're not focusing on nutrition at all. Most doctors have not had nutrition training.
Right.
Uh, it's the basic basis of our health. It's where it's the start and the finish. It's all encompassing.
Yeah. And
And
that go ahead, sorry. Yeah.
no, you go ahead.
Sorry, got excited. Yeah, and you're coming to this piece about that excites me. And I think this is what gives me hope for the future is the education. And this is what I love about your office. I walk in, there's a video on, there's always a different video on teaching me something. So if I get there early, I get to be educated about this food or that. lifestyle. And then after our sessions, you give me a recipe, which I love your recipes. They're simple, they're
Yay.
easy. You don't have to be a great chef anyone can make these foods, these healthy foods. And you give me information always on something like all of the different sweeteners that exist. Or you just gave me recently a thing on, the Dirty Dozen and yeah. Uh, yeah,
Okay.
education is so important to help us moving forward.
Yeah. The way we live today, the average you American lives in an extremely toxic environment between what they're eating, what they're breathing, what they're putting on their bodies, like hairspray or cosmetics, and what they're washing their clothes in, what they're, there's lead in certain, you know,
Yeah.
receptacles or whatever we're drinking out of. Um, we're just, and the water we drink. Woo!
Oh yeah. Ooh.
It's we've gotten so far away as a species, right? Homo sapiens, from what good health is, or how to take care of ourselves. And, we have medical breakthroughs that keep us living longer, and that fight disease, with antibiotics and stuff real quick. But there's pros to that and cons to that. And boy, we're dying slowly, painfully with these diseases that are a result of all the toxins in our environments. And it's slow, painful, agonizing, barbaric death. Uh, People are tortured in mind and body, and slaves to medications, in some cases. I just want to put an aside that if you're on a medication, you can still come to me and other nutrition
Mhm.
response testing practitioners, or if you're in a long list of medications, you can and we'll help you.
Yeah.
We want to help you. But um, yeah, it's dire. It's absolutely dire what people are experiencing now.
Right. 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 And just had no idea, like thinking that they're doing a good thing when they buy certain products in the health food, the health stuff aisles, for instance. And but there are still dyes and perfumes in those, or there's still terrible oils, seed oils and canola oil still in the health food section of a store. And so that's why I'm really excited that you have the TV show, and I really encourage people to check that out. I'm going to be checking that out because education is our power now. Knowledge is our power. Um,
Yes.
yeah, and so I wonder if you have any guidance or advice for people who are still on that path, still navigating chronic illness. Um, about having hope that things can change.
Yeah. Well, there's hope. And I'm a testament to that. I just kept searching, and I had very, very low periods um, when I was going through chronic pain and chronic illness. But there was hope. I held out hope, and I kept searching. I would say if you really want to get on the road to wellness, find a nutrition response testing practitioner. I'm outside of Philadelphia, and my website is centerfornutritionalhealing.com, as you explained earlier. But there's a website called nutritionresponsetesting.com that I mentioned earlier, where practitioners are listed from around the country. Um, know that nutrition is the way you're going to do it, the way you're going to transform your health, not only by what you eat, food, and what you drink, but nu- nutritional medicine or natural medicines are necessary to address toxins, get them out, other bad things like pathogens, get them out, and to replenish the body with the vitamins and minerals and other nutrition that your body needs to repair and to thrive. Um, yeah, I have gotten a lot of education, including finishing my master's recently.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And uh, thus, I feel as rich and blessed as anyone in the world because I have my health. I'm not the richest woman, and I'm not rich in terms of dollars, but I am as wealthy as any one person in the world because I have my health and the knowledge and tools and resources to maintain it and help and continue to improve it. And I wish that for everyone. And I think I found the way to do it. And it doesn't, I would say save your money and invest in your health. There's nothing better to invest in. But with nutrition response testing, it doesn't have to be super, super expensive, but it's still an investment of
Mhm,
money and
mhm,
of time.
mhm,
And I'd say instead of buying that new car,
mhm.
put that money and invest in your health.
Yeah,
Don't get that loan for that car. Invest in your health so you are not a slave to the the way it is in this country where corporations are allowed to put toxins in your food. They're allowed to put toxins in the water. They're allowed to put toxins in your personal care products in a way
mhm,
that is not allowed in Europe, for example. It's different in this country, and it's very unfortunate, even though I am a very proud American and I am very connected to my ancestors and the sacrifices they made so that I could have the life and the freedom I have in this country now. But there are some dangers to living in this country, and the toxins is one of them. It's huge, it's beyond anyone's imaginings. So t- instead of going on that trip to Disney or spending and having debt for this or that purchase, including a bigger house or whatever, save and invest in your health, and you will change the whole course of your life for the
absolutely.
better.
Mhm. You know,
And
there's freedom, yeah.
the generations that follow you, they need
Yeah.
to be educated, and it's going to seem different and maybe radical, and you might have to divert from what your friends and family are doing if you choose, but the rewards will be great.
Absolutely. And I love that message because a big thing that I promote in my work is personal power, empowerment, and getting healthy and freeing ourselves from all of the ways that we're intentionally poisoned, I have to say, really is power. And also that education of knowing what's what's really good for us, what supports us, and what we want to stay away from. um and understanding that our medicines are right here on the earth,
Yes.
understanding where we can get them. Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling my dandelions up and making tea, my dandelion tea.
Wow.
Yeah, It, my unsprayed dandelions. But yeah, so thank you for that. I'm so appreciative of your time, Cindy. Thank you so much. It's been such an honor. I'm so
Oh
grateful for
gosh.
you.
Oh, right back at you. Complete honor, and to have a client like you so dedicated
Oh,
to her health and seen such remarkable transformation. You had already done so much work before you came to me, but just to look at you, you're just glowing with health in mind, body, and spirit. And I'm couldn't be more honored to be a guest on your
no,
podcast.
I couldn't have done it without you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Have fun out there. We'll
Thank
talk
you.
to you soon.
I just want to tell you, I'm going to pick some
Yeah.
dandelions in my yard. Thanks to you.
Yes, 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 before they turn into the little fluffy things, yeah. Yes. Take care,
You
bye-bye.
too. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to part 2 of my interview with Cindy Harrington. Stay tuned for next week's episode. I plan to talk about somatic psychotherapy, a mind, body, spirit approach to healing the wounds that often express as physical illness. I will share how it benefited me as a client for 2 decades and how it has helped people to decrease or even eliminate symptoms of chronic illness when used in conjunction with physical interventions. Until then, I send you so much love, compassion, and blessings on your journey.